David, one of the things that I love that we've created language around, I think we knew it intuitively, but we didn't talk about it in these terms, is that we're approaching work from a perspective of not only what people get from the work that we're doing, but what they're bringing to the work. So I wonder if you can just talk a little bit about that distinction, because it's become really important in the way that we're approaching our work.
Yeah, it's sort of an underlying principle, or even a practice. I think it's becoming a practice that we're finding that with all groups, if we can help them reframe the idea that they're coming to a class, or they're coming to a workshop, or they're coming into their life focused on what they can get out of it, then they're really passive. I mean, it's sort of a passive stance, and it's a reactive stance. And when they make that, it's a very subtle shift, but they start to enter into their life focused on what they bring to it, they actually become very powerful. They're not passive. They're not reactive. They're engaged. They're dynamically involved in creating their world, as opposed to being reactive to their world. And like I said, it's a very, very subtle shift. But in all aspects of our work, in organizations, in education, when we're working with individuals, that subtle shift of practice, to start practicing entering into your day focused on what you're bringing to it, makes you a creator within your day, as opposed to a victim in your day of what's coming at you.
And that's what I was thinking about. We talk a lot about victim language that's really kind of pervasive and not language that we think of in terms of victimhood. But what I wrote when you were talking about is the distinction that we make in our telecoaching class, which is pay attention to the times you say, I have to do something.
Right.
And change it to I choose to, because have to is victim language in a way, or I can't.
Right.
And to really train yourself to reframe that as I choose not to, which also puts you in the place of a creator of your own story and not just a victim to the story that's happening to you.
Right. There's kind of a poverty mentality. I mean, the thing that always comes back to me when we're working with groups and people come into the room looking for what they're going to get, it sort of implicitly means they're missing something. It's like a transaction.
Yeah.
And when you come in the room really ready to bring something, bring your best game, you're in a transformational place.
Yeah.
It's a kind of abundant, prosperous place when you enter the world, knowing that you're bringing something to it, and what you bring to it, you have infinite choice about. Where, on the other shoe, if you're looking for what you can get, you're always kind of behind the wheel, and you're missing something, and you need to buy something, or you need to get something to fill the gap.
Right, and somebody else has my answer.
Right.
I think that's an important thing. And so the question I think we would leave folks with is, what are you bringing?
Right.
What are you bringing to your life? What are you bringing to this engagement? What are you bringing to this work that you're doing in the world? It's a really powerful question.
I think if you change that one thing, that little thing, you can change your world.
Yeah. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Patty.